Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Welcome to the Action Network podcast presented by DraftKings. I'm your host, Chris Raybon. It's NFL Week 13. It's time for some more anytime touchdowns. As always, I'll be joined by one of the most accurate rankers in the game, Sean Koerner. I'll be joined by touchdown betting savant, Gilles Gallant. We also are going to get into the full slate, but first on this show, we're going to have the Thanksgiving slate. Last week, we hit on Jaden Higgins, Mitch Tinsley, Parker Washington, Dak Prescott, Dwan Jennings, and Tez Johnson. If you want to tail some of these bets, look for the quick slip link in the podcast and video description, or go to actionnetwork.com/bet now. Before we get into the touchdowns, I'll toss it over to myself for a word from our sponsor. The Action Network podcast is sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook, and in partnership with DraftKings, Action Network podcast listeners get a great offer. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 back in bonus bets if your bet wins, plus 3 months of NBA League Pass. Love the thrill of live betting? DraftKings has got you covered. Bet live on star player props and in-progress games right as they happen. To get started, use promo code Action Network when signing up with DraftKings. That's code Action Network when signing up with DraftKings for 3 months of NBA League Pass and $200 back in bonus bets. If your bet wins, the crown is yours. All right, Koerner, what's going on? We got the Packers at the Lions. Happy Thanksgiving. Give me your biggest Thanksgiving hot take in terms of what is the worst side on Thanksgiving? What is the side that people like that you just don't?
Well, I don't like turkey. I know that's controversial. I just skip turkey. My grandma used to make a ham specifically for me, so I'm fading turkey, the most important part of the meal. Everything else I love, though, except for the turkey.
Yeah, I could actually get behind that. I mean, turkey is non-essential if you got a bunch of the other, the
it just
other
makes
meats.
you sleepy, too.
Right?
And come on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind that, but it's not like I'm going to actually fall asleep.
Right.
But all right, who do we got for this Lions Packers game?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Brock Wright at plus 310. So with Sam Laporta on IR, he's essentially the Sam Laporta plus Brock Wright role right now with a 73% routes run rate last week. Going to be out there for most of the red zone snaps too. No touchdowns in these last two games without Laporta, so I think this is a good time to buy low. He did miss Monday's walkthrough with a neck injury, so there's a chance he doesn't suit up, but our bets will get voided in that case, and this will be a two-legger. But assuming he suits up and he gets out there, I think plus 310 is a good time to buy low.
Would you buy his backup? Like it would probably be, I guess, Dwelly or Ferkser, or would you just kind of lay off if he was out?
I'd lay off. Plus, they'd probably be offering odds right now that he's out. So I'd hold off. Brock Wright's a big boy. I think he'll still suit up for Thanksgiving. It was just walkthrough anyway, so I'm assuming he'll be out there.
All right, Jill. Happy Thanksgiving. Any Thanksgiving hot takes? What's your favorite side?
Well, as a Canadian, my Thanksgiving happened about 6 weeks ago, so already I'm already ahead of the game. But my I don't know if it's controversial. I'm not a big cranberry guy. I don't really like a lot of the cranberry sides, anything like that. But again, especially because I've been to some Thanksgivings, they just use the canned cranberry. You just see it slide right out of the can. It looks disgusting.
Yuck.
That's just me. I'm not into that.
No cranberry slander on this show. I keep ocean spray. I keep the ocean spray cans in my fridge all year round. Like
that's a juice.
Not even on Thanksgiving.
Raybon, I would say if it's in a side bowl by itself, it's fine. But when it infiltrates the mashed potatoes and everything else, it infects everything. You know what I mean?
Oh, nah. It's all about presentation. I put it in the clear ramekin. You know what I mean? You got to get. Come on, man. That and some stovetop. Oh man. All right, Joe. Who you got for Packers Lions?
All right. This one won't be as much of a hot take. Christian Watson. I like him to score a touchdown on this defense. 2 red zone targets, 2 end zone targets in 4 games since he came back. Lions, we know they play a lot of man coverage, the 3rd highest rate. It is a bit of a smaller sample because he's missed a lot of time over the last couple of seasons, but he has the highest targets per route run versus man since the start of last year. And last game that they played a heavy man coverage team, that was the Giants, he scored twice. And the Lions have given up the 2nd most touchdowns to wide receivers in the NFL. So anything over plus 200, I'm going to take Christian Watson.
I'm going to go with Amon-Ra St. Brown. Monsters game last week, him and Gibbs. I think they're going to have to lean on these guys again. Green Bay, very zone-heavy team, including in the red zone, third most zone coverage in the red zone. And that's important because Green Bay is not going to give up a ton of explosives because they tend to sit back in zone. And so you're going to have to kind of move it up and down the field methodically on them. But Amon-Ra leads the Lions in targets, first reads, and is tied for the team lead in touchdowns in the red zone against zone coverage. So you parlay Amon-Ra at even money with Christian Watson at plus 210, Brock Wright plus 310. You get 27-1 odds for those for Green Bay and Detroit. Next game up, we got the Kansas City Chiefs at the Dallas Cowboys. Koerner, who do you like for Chiefs Cowboys?
Yeah, I like Kareem Hunt at plus 165. I was actually shocked to see these odds. I'm projecting him closer to even money here. And he's just coming off a 30 carry game, had a touchdown. He's their goal line back. I don't care if Isaiah Pacheco's out. He's probably going to come back to a limited role. They brought back their former first round pick, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. They scooped up Dameon Pierce. So clearly, they're not confident in their current running back room, but they are confident in Kareem Hunt. So give me Hunt here at plus 165.
Joe, Cowboys, Chiefs. Who do you like?
Yeah, just going to go with the receiving machine. George Pickens, 18 targets and 2 touchdowns over the last 2 games. And he easily leads the Cowboys with 15 end zone targets this year. One thing I really like, too, is that the Chiefs, they're bottom 10 in defensive DVOA versus the deep ball. And that's Pickens' specialty. He's 17 deep targets this year. That's 5th overall in the NFL. And I'm not really worried now about CeeDee Lamb coming back and swallowing up a lot of those targets because in the 4 or 5 games since Lamb has returned, he's gotten at least 9 targets. So I think in this game, this is a type of matchup where if he's matched up with Trent McDuffie, it's one of those times where he could win one-on-one on the outside against that type of high-quality cornerback. So I'm going to take George Pickens. He's around plus 150.
Yeah, he can win against anybody at this point. I'm going to go with Marquise Brown at plus 450. And the reason I like this is because he's been their third receiver ever since Rashee Rice came back along with Worthy. But Noah Gray may potentially miss this one. So the Chiefs may have to go to more 11 personnel, more 3-4 wide receiver sets in place of Noah Gray. So with that would likely lead to the biggest increase for Marquise Brown. And he has been great as in terms of being a touchdown scorer, especially for, considering his size and the type of targets he gets. So, we know Patrick Mahomes still wants to go deep. This is a defense that tends to play some zone coverage. Marquise Brown has beat zone coverage for touchdowns numerous times this year. He's tied for the team lead with 4 on the year, and that's in fewer snaps than most of their other receivers. So give me some Marquise Brown at plus 450. I think you can see an uptick here. You parlay Brown with Pickens at plus 150 and Hunt at plus 165. You get 28-1 for the anytime touchdown 3-leg parlay for Chiefs Cowboys. Next up, we got Bengals Ravens. Koerner. This is a really interesting one. Looks like you might get some Joe Burrow here. Who do you like for Bengals Ravens?
I like Mike Gesicki here at plus 370. He returned to action last week and played a lot more with Jamar Chase out. He had a 67% route run rate, 74% from the slot. So he was essentially acting as, their third receiver. And Chase is back this week, but T. Higgins is out. So I think we're going to see similar usage from Gesicki. And he has no touchdowns on the year. He missed a handful of games. Should get a boost with Joe Burrow coming back. So I think it's a good time to buy low on Gesicki at plus 370.
Joe.
Yep.
Bengals Ravens. Who do you like?
Isaiah Likely. Anytime you're looking at touchdown props versus the Bengals, the conversation I think has to start with the opposing tight ends because the Bengals have allowed the most touchdowns to the position. A tight end has scored in 5 of their last 6 games. Normally that would lead to Mark Andrews. He's around plus 110, so they are aware of that fact. So I think we take the tight end too, Isaiah Likely. He has scored at least 5 touchdowns in each of the last 2 seasons through 8 games. Been a little bit muddled coming back from injury. Lamar missing some time. He's still running the 3rd most routes on the team. So I think this is a matchup where he gets his first touchdown of the year.
I'm going to roll with my guy, Mitchell Tinsley, professional touchdown scorer. That's all he does is score touchdowns. Still saw over 70% of the routes last week. Now, Higgins did go down, so that might drop a little if Chase, stays healthy and Yosavash is the number 2. But where Tinsley is going to be used in the red zone. And we really saw Noah Fant take the biggest hit with Gesicki bumping up too. So it could be, Tinsley, Gesicki with the other guys in the red zone. So I think Tinsley's still underpriced yet again at plus 460. This guy is going to catch touchdowns. That's just what he does. Mike Gesicki, Isaiah Likely, Mitchell Tinsley, parlay those together 75-1. Love that. Just want to remind everybody that it's that time of year. We have a great deal on Action Pro as part of our Black Friday sale. It's live right now. Sign up for an annual subscription, and your first 3 months are only $19.99. Action Pro users get real-time alerts as soon as experts like Koerner, Nick Giffen, Stuckey, Jill, myself track picks in the app. Without Action Pro, you'll need to wait 30 minutes to get alerts and risk not getting the best of the number. You'll also get real-time money percentages to see whether smart money is flowing, and access to our NFL player prop projections powered by Sean Koerner. This deal is over soon, so go to actionnetwork.com/pro to sign up now for an annual subscription and get your first 3 months for just $19.99. That's actionnetwork.com/pro. All right, Black Friday, Bears, Eagles, Koerner. Who are you looking at?
I got to go with my guy, Luther Burden III here at plus 500. I love this price, but he has officially passed up Olamide Zaccheaus now as a clear number 3 wide receiver in this offense. You could probably consider him the number 2 receiver, I think. But another 60% plus routes run rate. Saw 5 targets, 3 catches, 46 yards. Also saw a rush for 15 yards. He has multiple different ways to score. So, he's still, DJ Moore, Rome Odunze injury away from his true upside. But in this role, I'm projecting him to be sort of like JSN, his rookie season, where he's going to have some decent games. But still, he's like the number 3 target in this offense. So love getting him, at this cheap price while we can. So give me Burden III at plus 500.
Joe, who are you liking? Eagles, Bears?
Another tight end. I'm going Dallas Goedert. He's around 2-1. Bears, obviously, they're playing a lot of man coverage around a top 10 rate. They've allowed 5 touchdowns to tight ends this year. 3 of those have been given up over the last 5 games. So they're 22nd now in defensive DVOA versus tight ends. And Goedert actually leads the Eagles with 6 touchdowns versus man coverage this year. Second in the NFL behind Devontae Adams, for what that's worth. The other thing, too, the Bears linebacker core was completely gone last week, which is part of the reason why a lot of people were targeting Steelers tight ends. I can't imagine they're all coming back this week just on a short week. Plus, Jalen Johnson, the cornerback for the Bears, if he's activated, that could probably see where he might be shadowing A.J. Brown as well. So I think Dallas Goedert, if we're betting a passing touchdown for the Eagles, that's where we look.
I'm going to roll with A.J. Brown, actually. I like both of them because the thing about Jalen Johnson, if he shadows A.J. Brown, that's still single coverage. And Jalen Hurts is going to attack single coverage. He's a guy that's not going to attack when he sees, zone defenders floating around. So I don't really mind that. I do think Goddard's a great one as well because, those 6 touchdowns. A.J. Brown's known to just rip up man coverage as well. So let's go with A.J. here in the parlay along with Goedert and Luther Burden III. You get 44-1 with those 3 for Eagles and Bears.